Hello guys, welcome back to Patents War, and today we will take a look at something sort of really interesting if you look at the date, and that's the point differences in the German army list for bolt action for the edition. I hear you saying, but the third edition rulebook will came out next month. But there is the issue. It's out of the printers like week or two. If you go to the Warlord HQ, you can even, pick the book on the tables and take a look. And what is the most interesting part about all of it is that Warlord sent it to the, you know, United States of America influencers, well, last week, and they NDA, so the sort of legal paper that they can't talk about it, ended last week. So basically, they are free to talk and you know, post the rules online like from the last week. So interesting part is also that the British YouTubers and influencers are sort of pissed that their NDA are expiring with the release of the book, so they can't legally post anything about the new edition, and the Americans can, which is sort of strange decision from Warlord Games. Not sure if it's not just a mistake that they put the wrong date and on the contracts or anything, but truth is that the Americans are now just freely posting rules about well, anything from the new edition. And the most interesting part is that yesterday evening I even saw a PDF of the collection for the edition online. So the game came out well or will came out the next month, but now the PDF is well circulating online, which is sort of interesting. But get back to the topic is that I take a look at the all Germans stats from the main rulebook because like in the first or second edition on the end of the rulebook after the rules and stuff you have the small specials for armies and few units for the all five main actors from the theaters. And as I play Germans for ball action, I take a look at the you know German units here, and I want to share it with you because maybe you didn't saw it, and I am sure you are interested as I am. So when we start with the officers, in the fourth edition there are no longer lieutenant, oberleutnant, captain, or major, but you have platoon commander and company commander, and it's basically merged together. So you don't have a small and big lieutenant or big and small company commander. You have just the platoon commander and company commander. And if you sub the, I'm not sure how Warlord totally name it, intelligence report, which were the Warlord's own, sneak peeks of the rules which they post on their website. You will need to field lots of officers in comparison with the second edition, where you probably run just one or two platoons. Now they went, we could say, Warhammer 40k or Frames of War style, where you basically it's no longer a platoon level game, but it's becoming company level game with many different formations because formations will be locked to specific units. So you probably need to run more platoons than in the previous edition. That means that Warlord know that you will need to bring more commanders, and that means that regular platoon commander in V3 is 30 points instead of 50 like in second edition, and company commander is down to just 60 points to 110 like in the previous edition, which means that they are basically 60% off. So of course it's just the regular price for the regular version, which means that basically company commander in fourth edition will cost the same as platoon commander in the previous edition. Interesting is that basically medic is still 40 points. Forward observer went down from 100 to 75, so basically quarter point down. Basic infantry squad is the same, it's 50 points for 5 guys. So same price as in the previous edition. Same prices also for Gratuitous Squad or here Grenadier Squad. Same prices also for regular or veteran. Doesn't really change. Interesting part is that the Pioneer Squad came down or came up from 65 to 70. So they are a little bit of pricier. Fallschirmjäger Squad is the same. Interesting part is that the Gerbisjägers or Mountaineers are up from 65 to 70, but they have the new Fieldcraft special rules. You pay extra points for extra rules. Waffen SS squad is the same. It's 45 for inexperienced, 50 for regular, and 65 for veterans, which is same like in previous edition. Only distinction is that they put their rules from the sorts of campaign books, and now you can fill them in all three experience levels. Because if I remember correctly, in the vanilla armies book, you just could then fill as veteran, and the campaign books bring together the variations of regulars or even the inexperienced squads for the last levy style of armies. And when we take a look at the interesting part that the Waffen SS Cavalry Squad is also the same price like in the previous edition, but it was 65 for veteran. Now in the new edition, you can even bring them as regular for 50 points, and there is even rules for the generic here Wehrmacht Cavalry Squad, not just for the Waffen SS version. So you can now fill up the regular here Cavalry Squad, and both veteran and regular, and they are the same price as the regular infantry, which is sort of interesting. But it's because you need to buy them horses for 3 points each, which is sort of interesting. But now you can field cavalry with cavalry carbines, which are sort of red rifles, and you need to buy them horses. So we can say that they are 3 points per model, more expensive because in previous edition you have the horses for free for the cavalry. So, and when we take a look at the last levy inexperienced parts of German armies like Volksgrenadiers, Osttruppen, Luftwaffe field divisions, Volkssturm Squad, Hitlerjugend Squad, and Kriegsmarine Squad. In the previous edition, they were for 35 points, except for Hitlerjugend Squad, which was 40 points because they have this extra green rule that they can upgrade to fanatics, so they were for 5 points expensive, basically 1 point per guy. And these inexperienced squads dropped dramatically from 35 to 25. That's basically 71% of the original price, which is sort of great. Also, all of them now can take a bike, or not motorbike, but just bicycle for 1 point each. All can be Shirkers for 2 points each, or green for 0 extra cost. But that means that they are actually really 10 points cheaper per squad, and with the same rules like in previous edition. So basically now you can field even more inexperienced squads. Taking a look at MMG team, which is one of the most disputed units in the World War action. Medium machine gun cost exactly the same as in the previous edition. It's 35, 50, 65. On other side, anti-tank rifle came down basically 20%. It's now 25 for regular instead of 30. Panzerschreck team went interestingly for the same price, basically for the regular. It's 80 and 80. But for whatever reason, they decided the veteran will be just 88 instead of 104. But the inexperience is in third edition 73 points, and it was just 56 in the second edition, which is sort of interesting that basically all of the free experience level has different, cost reduction or cost upgrade from the previous edition, which is sort of weird. Interesting is also sniper because they cost 2 points more instead of 50 and 65, like in second edition now they are 52 and 67. I'm not sure why they are 2 point up in the cost, but it's it. Flamethrowers is the same, 50 and 65. Light mortars went down with the price. Now it's the 30, 30 points instead of 35 like in the previous edition. Medium mortar is also down to 45 instead of 50, and heavy mortar is 60 instead of 65. So basically 5 points down from the previous edition, except the inexperienced one, which were more expensive in like were in the previous edition. I think it's probably the balancing factor because in the previous edition, basically everybody were taking inexperienced mortar squad because there is basically no peril at all because you were just hitting in the sixes and font sixes from spotter, so it doesn't really matter with what kind of guys you used or that. Oh, that was first edition. I think in second edition you need to be regular to use spotter, but whatever. So taking a look at howitzers, the light howitzer went down from 50 to 45, but medium howitzer went up from 75 to 85, and the heavy howitzer even go from 115 to 145. Interesting is that now you have to buy a gun shield for all of them for 5 points. So if now it's not automatical like in a previous edition that the howitzers with you know gun shields have gun shields because well, it's on the model. It's just the small, rulebook version. So whatever, we don't know what exactly will be in the full version, but now it's not, the concrete types, but it's just the type. And going from howitzer, the number welfare, it's same for the regular, bit more expensive as veteran and way cheaper than irregular than inexperienced. Not really sure why they put up the price for the inexperienced mortars, but well, make Neverwell for cheaper. But well, here we are. Same is for Howling Co. And speaking of autocannons, they are way cheaper. The 20 millimeter flak is now 35 instead of 50. That's basically well 2/3 of its original price. The quad autocannon is 125 instead of 135. So again, it's basically something like 10% cheaper. And heavy autocannon is 50 instead of 60. So again, that's basically 17% cheaper. The mighty 88 millimeter flak is now 190 instead of 160. So it's basically about 19% way more expensive. It's sort of shame because you don't really see them on the table in the previous edition, and probably we don't see them even in this third edition because it's sort of expensive. And taking a look at the light anti-tank cannon, it's basically the same. The pack 36 is 50 points, and in the previous edition it was 50 points. Now it's just a little bit of cheaper for inexperienced, but for whatever reason it's way more expensive for veteran, which seems to be in half of the units, and I'm not really sure why they do it, because for me it doesn't make really sense. Well, here we are. Medium anti-tank gun is 70 instead of 75, and heavy anti-tank gun is, well, flat 100 for regular instead of 110. And super heavy anti-tank gun, which is, well, 88mm pack 44, is the same price like was in the previous edition. But all the anti-tank weapons are way cheaper. if you are taking them veteran, and just the super heavy one is more expensive in experience like it was in the previous edition, but basically all of them are way cheaper, even in experience and even in veteran version, and even in the regular one, just except the Atlantic Kangan. So that was my run up for the German army list from the Wall Action for Edition rulebook. Of course, you basically don't have to believe me because the edition is not officially up. But you can trust me. If you don't, well, whatever. So this is the change in for the edition. To be honest, there you can clearly see that basically almost anything is way cheaper because now you will be running more platoons than in the previous edition. So better cheapen stuff so you can buy it more, which is good for business, and fill them more, which you have more units to paint, but you get more units to field. If it will work, I will show because I remember when the formations were introduced back in time for Warhammer 40k. It was a great idea on the paper. It looks really promising. It was looking really great, but it wasn't really that great when people start to using it, and more more specifically when they start to abusing it. But maybe it will not be the case in ball action. But since I think Warlord is sort of targeting for Hammer 40k players and try to bring them to the bold action, I'm not sure if it will work. So anyway, that's it. That's the Germans for the edition. Again, it's from the rulebook. So basically, there could be changes in the full armies of Germany for the edition when they came out, because there were always a couple of changes from the rulebook versions and the armies of versions of unit entries. So basically, they maybe change, but who knows? We will see in coming weeks or months. That was Potan's War, and if you like it, don't forget to like, leave me something in the comments, being speculations about the third edition, or if you think that this is just made up stuff because the edition is not up yet. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Hopefully I will see you there. Bye guys.